Theo? Okay, feels good. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Take the Wrestling Podcast coming to you on September 9, 2021. I'm your host, Ernest EJ Christian, alongside Mike Bernier. Joe Lopez with his little weird-looking Disney hat there. That's a classic. Wait, Joe, go down.
What?
That's a classic. That's a classic logo. Never mind. Okay, I actually dig it.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a little faded on my screen. That's why. But as you went down, I saw the logo. I was like, oh, no, that's not bad actually. Mike, what's your drink of choice today?
Cider Boys pineapple hula.
Aha.
Pineapple hua.
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 Is it that in honor of the tribal chief?
This one's for you, Maui.
Roman Reigns is a pineapple hua.
Dude, we got a really, really big show tonight. I'm looking forward to this fucking. This could be a long one, I think, based on what we're doing.
Sweet.
I'm gonna take a taste. I'm gonna take a taste in my hat.
In your hat, in your red hat.
Pinky up, like a gentleman.
When in doubt, pinky out.
That's right. Big show today. We're looking forward to this fucking show. It could be a long one. So
I taste the apple more than anything else.
But I'm saying it's like a really sweet apple.
It is like a sweet apple. It's like biting into a Granny Smith.
Yep.
Is it a really sweet apple?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the first take of the day because we got a lot to get to. And
do you like your Granny Smiths juicy or a little bit more on the dry side?
That's a good question.
I mean, the fact that he almost fell.
He almost answered it.
So good.
He definitely almost answered it.
I will say this though. Your comment earlier in the 3 count with the oatmeal cream pie one, I literally almost lost my mind in the fact that none of them answered. I was like
so sad.
I was like, oh my god.
Speaking of freak out, did you guys take a chance to troll Jim during the fucking game? Because I mean, his boys are on tonight.
I mean, I just kept updating him on the score.
No. Nah.
I was not being that guy.
Yeah. Jim, I get a little. Jim is a moody Cowboy fan through the year. You'll see on on Twitter this year.
Like every other Cowboy fan.
No, he's pretty bad though. Like he has gotten worse in the last couple years. He
like every other Cowboy fan.
I mean, to be fair, they're Cowboy fans.
That's
just
true.
Good old boys.
25 years of ineptitude.
They're gonna break out into like the West Redneck. What the hell was their team name?
The West Texas Rednecks. I'm not.
I feel like Ernest agrees with them though. He thinks rap is crap.
Good old boys.
2009 is crap.
Good old boys.
You haven't listened to the new Drake album. You don't know.
Do yourself a favor. Go back and watch Monday Nitro from.
I was 1999.
99. The West Texas Rednecks.
It was like August of 99.
They're on the show 3 times singing a song called "Good Old Boys."
It was Kurt Hennig. Who else was it? It was Kurt Hennig. It was
Barry Windham.
Right.
Barry Windham and
Windham.
Kendall Windham, I think was the other one.
There's more than one Windham?
I think it was Kendall, Barry.
Who the fuck is Kendall Windham?
Not Barry's nephew or something? Oh,
no, not his son. His son is Bray Wyatt.
Hold on. That's Wyatt Rotundo.
Oh, that's right. He's related to IRS.
Yeah, that's right. The son.
You
want to just use my phone? You can just use my phone.
Your phone's gonna die.
I mean, facts.
Ernest is the only one on video right now. It's fun.
That's not okay for anybody.
I can see you. You can't see me.
It's like, but this is like paying for the worst version of an OnlyFans right now. Like all you can see is Ernest.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
I don't care.
Thomas Edward Weaver
Brady.
Brady.
Don't forget my dude wipes.
Fucking Tom Brady's never gonna die.
Oh, you okay? I want to advertise for them on the show.
It was Kurt Hennig, Bobby Duncombe Jr., Barry, and Kendall Windham.
Now tell me what you know about Barry Duncombe Sr.
Barry and Kendall, you said?
Yeah. That sounds like the name of a basketball player. Like, how is your name Duncombe and you're not a basketball player?
He's the brother of Barry.
Okay.
Anyway.
We learned a lot today.
We had a pretty awesome pay-per-view on Sunday.
We laughed, we cried. Wait. Sponsorship, right?
Oh, okay. Is that Dude Wipes?
Dude Wipes? Take 3 is brought to you by Dude Wipes, because when that's good shit, but you need to clean up afterwards.
Can I just get credit for being the one to introduce y'all to Dude Wipes?
Yes, I appreciate you.
Promo code Sugar.
Yes. Yes, exactly. You can also get 10% off of my Just for Fans at promo code. Now, see, I realized this the other day. Hear me out here, okay? I listened to all of the Conrad Thompson podcasts, and all of them, it's like JR gets to plug his barbecue sauce. Kurt Angle gets to plug his chicken products. I should get to plug my porn career. I think that's only right.
I mean, you only done it twice in the last 3 weeks, so I mean, no big deal.
Yeah, I haven't really officially started yet. But find me on Rentmen, and also come join Orange Theory Fitness. We need more members. Ernest. Don't even start. Don't. Dude, I almost asked you because you posted a picture on your Facebook today in front of Orange Theory. I was like, yeah. I'm surprised you didn't put it as a caption on top. Give you a free class. That's all I'm saying.
I love the fact that my wife is sitting here and she was just immensely dumbfounded when you're like, support my porn career. She's like, what? Oh yeah, I signed the contract. What? With it's a entertainment, like an adult entertainment thing. So they're gonna get me roles in like movies, and they mostly film in Fort Lauderdale, so it's really okay. So what did you put as your name? I am Alonzo Diaz. We're gonna know somebody famous.
Oh my God.
That is actually my porn name. I am Alonzo Diaz.
I still feel like you should have went with Punishment Martinez.
Isn't it exotic? I feel like it works.
I still think you should have went with Punishment Martinez.
Yeah, definitely. I agree, Mike, on that one. Anyway, as I was saying, we had a pretty amazing pay-per-view on this past Sunday. Everybody across the board, every wrestling fan, writer is saying pay-per-view of the year, legendary, you name it. So we'll go through this whole card. First off, from the buy-in, the only match I actually missed on the show was the 10-man tag team between Best Friends and Jurassic Express, who defeated the Hardy Family Office.
Their team name is Historic Rock. Please don't ever disrespect them again like that.
9 minutes 25 seconds in this match. By submission. I didn't see this match honestly, but you know. Did you guys see this match?
No, I didn't watch the buy-in. I already bought it, so I didn't need to be convinced.
Then fuck it. Next, let's go to the main card. Then fuck it. Why bother? Main card.
Move on.
Yeah, 13 minutes 22 seconds. Miro defeats Eddie Kingston by pinfall. This match was really good.
It was.
Shocking
opener.
Shocked to put him first. Actually, no, in hindsight, I'm glad he did. Yeah, Miro's what they're doing Miro's pretty fucking awesome, honestly.
First, but
thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, continue.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You don't have
closed captioning.
You don't have closed. I don't get to read the words you say, so sometimes I turn to Mike and ask him what you just said. He speaks earnest better than I do.
Google Translate him.
I do the Penta says guy. Alex, what was the fucking name is the other guy? Penta says this and that.
Oh, Penta says. Okay, I got that one.
Are you talking about Alex?
Alex, what his name is?
Yes.
What his name is? I know it's Alex something.
AA Arn Anderson?
Yes.
All right. I'm in.
No, I'm actually shocked to put this match first, but I'm glad he did. It was a really good match.
No, I think that was a great spot for the match. I think it was a great opener. It was probably the best match that I think Miro's had since like that one Roman Reigns match back in like 2017 in WWE. Like,
behind that.
Yeah, Miro hasn't exactly had a slew of fantastic matches. This is one of them that is actually fantastic.
He's like the king of the 2.5-star match.
Yeah, exactly. Like
he finally had a 4-star match.
He finally had a 4-star match. I will give it to him. Eddie Kingston looked fantastic too. I loved everything about this match.
All I'll say out of this is I hope that this isn't over between the two of them because I feel like this is one that has the ability to have legs to continue on for a couple more weeks.
Same.
So I hope they don't just squash it and move on to somebody else like they've done in the past. This is something that they can build on. This has
so many legs that it's basically Stacy Keibler.
Oh wow, good one. I like that. For as bad as the build was, as short as the build was, I mean, But isn't that AEW in a nutshell though? Like short builds, not great builds, but on paper the match is going to deliver because the wrestlers are great.
It's hilarious. I said this on the 3 Count show earlier in the thread, and once I say this out loud, you're like, "Oh my God, you're absolutely right." I've determined what AEW is.
It's PWG with a big
on
budget.
steroids.
Yeah.
Oh.
because there was not a singular fucking storyline in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. It was literally super cards.
Yep.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
It is PWG on steroids.
It's PWG, but Tony Khan has a lot of money to spend as opposed to like whatever Excalibur and the Young Bucks and Super Dragon could scrape together.
Yeah, no, this is we don't need storylines. We're just gonna put out like 9 car crashes, and you guys are gonna get your money's worth, and then you're gonna tell us how great of a show it was, and then we're gonna come back in a couple more months and do it all over again.
Right. All right, next match.
Lather, repeat.
Rather repeat.
All right, 11 minutes, 50 seconds. The John Moxley defeats Satoshi Kojima by pinfall.
Lariat.
Yeah, this match was exactly what I thought it was going to be, which is good. Like, there's nothing like extremely special about it. Moxley looked good. Kojima looked good. It was kind of cool seeing Kojima on pay-per-view, but that's like they did it on Impact a couple of months ago. It's exactly what we said was going into the match. So
this was the Savio Vega match of the night.
Yeah, basically.
No,
I mean, it was a nice.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it was worse than that.
It wasn't even there.
It wasn't the Savio Vega match of the night. We'll get there in a minute. Don't worry about that.
Is that way in the bottom of the card? Way down to the.
We'll get there. Stay tuned.
We did the surprise of the night, of course. Well, one surprise of the night at the end of the match.
Oh, with Suzuki coming out.
Yeah,
that was cool.
That was really cool. And go ahead.
I'll tell you this much. Minoru Suzuki showing up has a greater impact right now on what they do moving forward than anybody not named Phil from Chicago.
Interesting. Why do you say that?
Because this now leads to them bringing more people over.
Oh, yeah.
Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson being there. We talked about this off the air.
Yeah.
Adam Cole is going to be the workhorse of the Elite. He's not going to be a guy who's going to go.
He's not the main eventer
for the main event spots anytime soon.
No.
Which, if he's okay with that, awesome. I love that for him. But guess what? Bryan Danielson is another person that's going to get fed to Kenny Omega whenever Kenny Omega decides to beat him. Because the only person that makes sense to take the title off of Kenny Omega is still Adam Hangman Page.
Yeah, agreed.
So Bryan Danielson is eventually going to lose to Kenny Omega.
And I think that Adam Cole in that role, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk more about it eventually. Adam Cole in that role makes perfect sense, and I like it.
I'm going to save
towards the end.
No, I'm going to save what I would do because I have a thought process here that is inevitably going to lead to what happens with Adam Cole and then what happens with Bryan Danielson and the whole Elite Kenny Omega situation.
Fair.
I think he's there he is.
He just John Cena'd us.
What a bottle. What a cover. Sorry.
So yeah, what I'll say here is Minoru Suzuki coming out. I think it's going to lead to a lot of things. Guys going over to G1 maybe. Guys going over for more shows. On social media, Lance Archer, full-fledged member of Suzuki Goon, has already come out in a photo with Suzuki saying he will be at the show with Suzuki on Wednesday to call out Moxley.
Oh, shit.
This isn't a one and done for Minoru Suzuki. He's over here because he's supposed to be in Game Changer in September and October.
So he's around for like a month.
So you could get a 2-month feud out of Minoru Suzuki and Suzuki Gun, which could lead to then teams going to New Japan to go chase Suzuki.
True.
Yeah. The forbidden door with AEW and New Japan is a hell of a lot more open now with Suzuki being there than it has been in the past. Because getting a one-off random IWGP GP match because you need to get the title to Archer to then have Archer drop it to fucking Hiroshi Tanahashi, stuff like that. Like that door is now more open. If Tanahashi would have came to AEW and beat Moxley or Archer in an AEW ring, I'd have been like,
oh shit,
okay, this door's wide the fuck open.
I want to change my number 3 pick for Wrestler of the Week.
Uh-oh.
You're an asshole.
I know, but you just made me realize something that I forgot that I wanted to do that. We could just do it later. I'm just saying.
No, I got to do it here, but I'm not going to be able to do that.
Okay.
Continue, Joe.
Okay. All right. Let me before we get started. Before we get to the next match. I
will write down.
Issue with Moxley. Every wrestler comes down from Japan, he's beating every time. Is that an issue? You think, or does it matter?
What? I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
Every wrestler Moxley's faced so far that's come from Japan, he's beaten.
It depends on who the wrestlers are. Like honestly, him defeating Kojima, perfect sense. Kojima's a legend. Kojima doesn't need the win. Kojima's not sticking around. Him beating Suzuki, again, Suzuki's a legend. Suzuki doesn't need the win. Suzuki's going to still be as over as Suzuki is, whether he wins or loses, that's fine. If they came out with him, if they sent over one of the young guys from New Japan and Moxley just got to destroy him, like Sho or Yo, or even like Hiromu Takahashi or any of those kinds of guys, I'd be like, no, I'm not feeling this. Or even, heck, if they sent over Naito or somebody, like, I don't know that Moxley would need to get the win over Naito. I don't know that would help the building of a feud if you have Moxley beat a guy like that right away. Like, I think it would also make more sense if Naito got a win over him or something. And it also depends on what they end up doing in the other direction. Because like Mike was saying, like, this opens up this door in both directions. But so far, we've only actually seen AEW. It's much like the Impact relationship that AEW's had. We've only really seen AEW benefit from the relationship. Agreed. We haven't really seen it in the other direction. So I'm interested to see what happens when some AEW guys start going over to New Japan. Because frankly, if you've seen the G1 groupings, awful. Worst G1 that they've had in a long, long time. I mean, like, fucking Yoshihashi's in there. Like, that's not okay. No, wait, Chase Owens is in there. Chase fucking Owens is in there. This means nothing to you, Ernest, but trust me, it's like if WWE ran a tournament and, like, Lindsay Dorado got to be in it. Like, that, it's that level of, like, what the fuck are you actually doing with your life right now? So at the end of the day, I feel like if the door is opening in both directions and you start to send some AEW guys over to New Japan and they take losses over in New Japan, then it's fine. It's fair. It makes sense. You know, home field advantage, yada, yada, yada. Other sports
but I don't believe that's ever going to happen because it didn't happen in Impact.
Right, which is like that.
I'm not holding my breath.
And even more so now, like, I don't even know that people from America can, like, necessarily travel to Japan. Like, I don't know what the travel bans are because exactly, because you can come here but you might not be able to go there or whatever the case may be.
And what's their rules especially?
I have no idea.
Right. Okay, next match here, 11 minutes 34 seconds. The champ retains. Britt Baker defeats Chris Statlander by submission. Good match, really, to be honest with you. To me, my takeaway from this is that I'm even more sold on Chris Statlander being a champion at some point in the next 18 months.
Okay, so for me, this match, I saw someone else write this, and nobody famous or anything like that. Like, I think just like someone I follow on Twitter, or it might have been on Facebook. I don't even remember. They summed it up perfectly to me. It was a really good match that could have been great, but there was no drama because we all knew Britt was gonna win.
Right.
Like, and once you already know who's gonna win, there's no way to kind of suspend your belief and get into it to a point where it's like, oh man, but Chris Statlander might actually pull it off. You lose the drama there, and then it becomes just like a really good, well wrestled match with no drama. And that there's nothing they could have done for that. I think short of having her wrestle Thunder Rosa, who we might have all believed had a chance of winning, I don't think that there was anything that they really could have done in this scenario. But you know what? Sometimes that's okay. It's okay for Britt to have had a match where it was obvious she was going to win and getting that win and just kind of strengthening her championship reign. I'm okay with it, and it was a good match.
I'm gonna say I do think Statlander came out looking strong still in the end, even in the loss.
I don't think it hurt her at all. Losing to a champion should never hurt you.
Right.
Especially not one as great as Britt.
DMD.
Yes, absolutely.
Uh-oh. Look at Mike's face.
Savio Vega match?
No, this wasn't the Savio Vega match.
No. Can't be the Savio Vega match.
No. So what I guess I wasn't the biggest fan of from this one, and I think that I enjoyed the match. If you're gonna feed Britt somebody, feeding her someone who's like 18-0 in 2021 with no storyline build, I don't care how good the match is. It just doesn't do anything for me. Like, the rankings matter to the women's division because it's the only division where you have all the fucking people who should be fighting for the title being 18-0 and 21-1 and shit like that. Like, the women's rankings are the only ones that actually fucking matter in this whole fucking dumb shit. But if you're gonna Chris Statlander. 4 weeks ago, Chris Statlander should have beaten whoever was number 2.
Yeah.
In a singles match. Hayter and Rebel, not Reba, should have come out after the match, and Britt should have jumped her, and this would have had a 3-week build to an actual match where there was some actual drama in the match. Like
I
this,
can see that.
Like this is the conversation I had earlier with PWG. This being PWG on steroids. PWG was the same way. We're announcing it's going to be Bryan Danielson versus Adam Cole in a Battle of Los Angeles qualifying match. Okay, it's not a match in the Battle of Los Angeles. It's a match to get there. So now these guys are fighting to get there. At least it okay. Like if you announce hey, by the way, Battle of Los Angeles is tomorrow. We're gonna have Adam Cole versus Bryan Danielson first round match.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Like you're excited on paper.
Awesome. This match is gonna be fantastic, but there's no drama. There's nothing to sink my teeth into.
Right.
It's just kind of there.
Yeah.
But I will say, and we're gonna get to it, that this is the strongest that their women's division has ever looked.
Yes.
And I will say hands down that they're doing the things that they need to get better. I'm glad that they're listening to the people that are complaining about it, us included. They're doing the right thing.
Yes.
But there's still steps that need to be taken.
Yeah.
To get it to that next level.
I got TK on the horn, by the way. So
I hope you do.
Shit.
He used to call me on myself.
He doesn't know that song. It's past 2009.
I mean, in addition to obviously Thunder Rosa committing, Ruby's, we'll get this Ruby's in a second and whatnot. Having Statlander back, after that injury, it does help because she was one of the few bright.
Statlander's one of the top 5 women in that division, like wrestling wise and stuff. That's what I'm saying.
I would low key put her in the top 3.
Yeah.
From an in-ring perspective.
I would also essentially put her in the top 3. Because, at the end of the day,
And she has a character that is so original that nobody else can really do anything with.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's something that, Britt coming out and doing DMD and she's a dentist and cool stuff like that. But then you look at the rest of that female roster. It's like Ruby stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy hair, the tights, the music, everything stands out. But then you, start peeling back layers. I love the Dark Order. I'm a Dark Order guy. Anna Jay and Tay Conti look identical.
Yeah.
Penelope Ford and the Bunny, identical.
Yeah.
Red Velvet and Big Swole. The only difference is Big Swole has cornrows and Red Velvet has long hair. It's literally they're like prototypes of themselves.
Yeah.
They're the same size. They wear the same kind of trunks.
Like Jade Cargill.
Jade Cargill.
She stands out,
Nyla
but
Rose
she's not great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's very green.
So when you look at the standout list and then you look at the in-ring list, there's very few that check both boxes. Statlander checks both. Ruby checks both. To an extent, I don't even know that Britt really checks both.
But her character does.
Thunder Rosa checks both. Definitely Thunder Rosa.
And Thunder Rosa. Like those are the 4 that you could legitimately say stand out in that division, and then the rest of them could blend in with each other.
But see, I would honestly say this is one of the reasons why I think that AEW at this point has at least as strong as, if not maybe even arguably stronger, of a women's division than any of the individual WWE brands, because they have at least as many women who stand out as any of the brands individually. If you took WWE as a whole,
right?
Yeah, if you took WWE as a whole, it has the better women's division, obviously.
Easily.
If you break it down to each show has at best 3 or 4 really good women, and then kind of just
that's very true.
Others that are just kind of there, which is what AEW now has.
Well, Raw has Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair,
yeah,
Nia Jax,
Asuka,
Sage, Rhea Ripley, and Asuka. So that's 6.
Asuka's not injured right now. I think.
So that's 5.
Yeah,
so you're on par with AEW right now.
And that we're just talking about people standing out because you're not including Nia Jax in a list of actually good wrestlers.
We talked about Jade Cargill standing out.
Right.
On that bitch.
Yes. Right.
But does stand out though, even though she's a bad wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay, but then look at the SmackDown roster. You have Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair. You still have Natty over there. Tegan's over there. Shotzi's over there. Toni Storm debuted. I mean, they each company and brand, because I'm going to use brand because we're talking about WWE, they have about the same amount of talent.
Yes.
You just now have to pick which flavor of the ice cream you want to think is better.
I think SmackDown would arguably be the best, but they're not using half those women. Like, when's the last time Toni Storm was actually on SmackDown?
3 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah, about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but outside of the Casino Battle Royale, I mean, when was the last time that, Nia Jackson, or not, wow, okay. Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill were really seen in a match. Like, they had a backstage segment.
Right.
So, I mean, it's like Thunder Rosa. Like, she signed it. Everyone was happy. She wrestled at the show in Miami when we were there. And then it's like, if you're not watching the 37 hours of Dark and Elevation, Elevator, whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Evolution?
Yeah. Oh, God. On up. I mean, whatever the fuck you want to call it, guys. I don't really give a shit. I don't sit through it. I watched my first episode of AEW Dark in about 7 months yesterday because I wanted to watch what they called the 3 strikes match between Big Swole and Diamante. You want to fall by pinfall. You're going to fall by submission. If it goes to a third fall, it's by knockout.
Okay, that's interesting.
And
was it good?
It was decent. I'm not going to say it was great, but there was a storyline build there. Diamante had cheated against Julia Hart.
Okay.
Beat her up with the chain. Swole came out. They were using the time that they were given to make it a feud. So this was like
and it was like a storyline that was on Dark specifically.
Exactly. So like I saw it on social media. Like I saw the video leading into it. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. So I sat through like the 45 or 50 minute Dark or whatever. It was the last like 10 or 15 minutes on the show. But I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do it, I'm going to sit through the whole thing. Yeah. And see how it plays out on.
Was it a good episode overall? I mean, it's shorter than like the fucking 2.5 hours that they were doing.
I would probably give it like a C+.
Are you more okay? Question to both of you guys: Are you more likely to check out Dark now that it's about to be taking place from the Impact Zone?
Do
you not know what the Impact Zone is?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't know what the fuck Impact Wrestling is. Stop talking. Jesus Christ.
No, I know it has to do with Impact. So.
What is the Impact Zone then, genius?
Is that in like somewhere in Florida? Like
he loses 100 points from Jeopardy if he can't answer what the Impact Zone is. It's where TNA used to film their shows at Universal Studios, which is where AEW is going to be filming Dark.
Yeah, that's what 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, September 11th.
Right.
Okay.
Continue.
Next match.
Oh, okay, next match. Sorry. Yeah. All right, we got new tag champs. 22 minutes, 5 seconds. The Lucha Brothers defeat the Young Bucks in the cage.
This is a great match. Excellent. Match of the night, stole the show, 5 stars. I'm down for all that. I will say one thing though, I don't know that I'm going to blame AEW fans on this or just internet wrestling fans or fans in general, but most fans have a tendency to do the hyperbole, go a little bit over the top. I've seen people on Facebook literally be like, this is the greatest cage match of all time. First of all, no, it's not. It's not even on the top 10 list like that. Like, let's be real here. No. But was it the best match of the night on this particular fantastic show? Yes. 5 stars. I will give it 5 stars. Absolutely love this match. I even told you, like, I don't
know that I can go 5.
That's okay. That's fair. I even love that, like, I
don't know that I can give that a 5-star rating.
I even love that, like, the Young Bucks were, like, doing a better job of kind of selling the drama here than they have on a lot of their matches. Like, we were talking about, there was that one spot. Okay, wait. So the other night I was watching Fall Brawl 1996, the WCW show from 1996 of this month, right? NWO versus WCW, War Games. War Games. And on that show was Conan defending the Mexican heavyweight championship against Juventud Guerrera. And in that match, there's a spot where Conan's like Juvi is outside of the second ring. Because remember, it's War Games, so there's 2 rings. And Juvi is outside of the second ring. and he like jumps up to the ropes on the outside, and then jumps over to the ropes on the other side, and then dives into the ring onto Konnan. Great spot. Except Conan's standing there the whole time, just kind of watching Juvie. I was literally about to say Juvie.
Juvenile.
He was watching Juvie jump, and then jump on him. Like literally just standing there looking like he was waiting for a bus, except he was waiting for Juventud Guerrero to hit a spot. That killed it. So one of the things I appreciated about this match, and this is the reason why I'm long-windedly getting there and talking about 1996 WCW, there was a point in the match during the big spot where Rey Fenix is at the top of the God knows how tall that cage was. It was so much taller than it needed to be. But Rey Fenix is at the top, and he's about to dive down, and you have the Young Bucks there, and they didn't do the thing that every wrestling match tends to do in these moments, which is like they just stand there and wait for it to happen. Mm-hmm. Instead, you had Penta holding them there. And you had Nick and Matt Jackson, to their credit, looking like they were trying to actually get away, looking like they were trying to run and move and like not be hit with this move. And Penta just being like, nah, bitches, you're going to stay here, but only in Spanish. And he was willing to take the bullet and get hit at the same time, which makes logical sense. The whole spot made logical sense, and it's usually a spot that in a lot of wrestling matches never makes logical sense. So credit to them for that.
Facts.
5-star match. 5 gay flags. 5 of the rainbows.
New champs. Who Mike wins it in.
Oh, can we talk about how the opening, the entrance though?
That was just too much.
It looked like a really bad TikTok video.
If there was one bad point in this pay-per-view, it was that and Jericho's intro as well too. But we'll get there later in this.
It looked like you ordered Bad Bunny on Wish.
Yeah.
This is what it looked like, honestly.
I didn't enjoy it at all.
I'll give this match like 4.5, like 4.25.
It looked like you were like, but like, Mom, can we get Daddy Yankee? And she was like, we have Daddy Yankee at home.
By the way, Cowboys by 1. Less than a minute ago.
Yeah. Like 1 or
the ball.
Like the game's over?
No, it's still going on now. It's late in the game. Under minute to go.
All right, continue.
This match 4.25-ish.
Rainbow flags or stars?
Stars.
Okay.
It was a crash. There was a lot of things that they did that made sense. There was a lot of things that they did that didn't.
There were some botches there too, I thought.
It really make a ton of sense. Like I get like, oh, the Young Bucks keeping Brandon Cutler there so he could throw the thumbtack shoe over the fucking cage or whatever. But like, what was the point of the cage then? It was to keep people and things out, and they're like, you know what? Fuck it, we're gonna have them throw something over it.
It was to have something for Rey Fenix to jump off of.
Obviously.
Yes.
But that's the point. Like, okay, again, a cage match with 0 build. A cage match with Tony Khan coming out and not giving us an actual reason. Just more, hey, these guys wrestled each other once and they hate each other, and we're going to randomly put it in a cage if they can win this tournament that they had to win. And I'm just like, how the fuck did we get here?
Yeah, I feel
it just doesn't make sense on how they got there. But I mean, I guess I can't, like, it was a great match. It was definitely the best match of the night, but it's definitely not anywhere near, like, the greatest cage matches of all time. It's not anywhere near, like, honestly, there are people like, oh, it might be the best tag team match that AEW's ever had. I'm sorry. Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus Young Bucks is still better than that.
It's not even the best Young Backs.
Brokeback Mountain?
Yes. It's not even the best Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers match that AEW has ever had, quite frankly. Like, I think their match at the ladder match that they had that one time was better than this cage match. But I do love this match also.
Way to jinx that one, moron.
What happened?
Oh, they're in field goal range.
Oh, I'm a couple seconds behind you, so I'm 24 seconds into the game.
Oh my God, when they're in field goal range.
So
I don't give a shit who wins the game. I'm moving for Tampa because I'm a Giants fan, so Dallas, I want Dallas to lose. So,
okay, next match.
I care about +9. That's all I care about. +9. I ain't got +9. That's all I give a fuck about.
Thank you. Next match.
Here we go. The Casino Battle Royale women's.
I enjoyed this one more than I do most of the Casino Battle Royals. I don't know why. I think it just moved a lot faster than a lot of them, but I enjoyed it.
No, it was good. It was fun.
It was fun seeing Ruby. It was fun seeing Ruby as the debut. We all knew it was coming, but it was still nice to see it actually happen.
And she won. She beat Thunder Rosa.
Mm-hmm. There was a nice amount of drama towards like the final 4 or 5 or so. I think everyone kind of got to stand out and look pretty decent. Like all the women that you needed to. Anna Jay got a good moment. Tay Conti got a good moment. Jade Cargill got a good moment. Like everyone got like their little bit of shine in this match. This was the kind of match that made me stop and think like, wow, okay, they actually do have a pretty decent women's division at this point.
I will say, Jade Cargill.
You didn't expect.
Jade Cargill looked very green in that match, though. Very green.
I mean, but she is very green. Like that's just.
I don't know what's more green, her or the fucking Jolly Green Giant.
Yeah, I mean that's just what she is.
Yeah, I mean she has to look obviously, and hopefully she gets better obviously, but she's like the almost of the women's division now.
Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah,
almost is putting the work in.
Oh no, we know that. Oh yeah.
I mean, at least he's fucking showing up ready to fucking work. Oh.
But although to be fair, they put almost in matches like almost every week on Raw at this point. They don't do that to Jade. Like she doesn't get the chance to wrestle.
How many matches do they have on their show a week?
Not enough.
That's the question. Was this a smart move to book her Ruby's winner? Was this the right move?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm enjoying the little build to a feud that they're already having. Continued on Dynamite this week and stuff. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I don't know that there was anybody else I would have put. Like I get Thunder Rosa is like the you could have gotten us the third match between them.
Well, you still can at some point.
Or you could just wait till Double or Nothing in like June or February of next year, and it actually make fucking sense.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I see Britt holding the belt at least till February next year. So.
Yeah, I don't see Britt losing the title to Ruby,
barring injury.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Anyway, next
or pregnancy, which I doubt. I mean, although now they're on the road together.
Adam Cole having a baby.
Baby, yeah. All right, 19 minutes, 30 seconds. Chris Jericho hangs around. He defeats MJF by submission. Had he lost the match, he had to retire from in-ring competition from AEW. Thank God, because I want to see him on fucking Rampage commentary week to week. Oh, Jesus Christ, he's horrible in there.
This match was kind of slow. I didn't love this one.
It was probably one of the worst of the bunch, the 4 they've had.
See, I feel like saying like worse is a harsh word because that to me, like when you use the word worse, it makes it sound like it was bad. I don't think it was bad.
That match was bad.
I didn't think it was bad.
Not entertaining at all.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
It was dumb. It was not fucking well. It was not well laid out. The fucking finish was god awful. Like if you're gonna have him fucking like, oh, he may lose. Do something different.
Yeah.
Like. That's the same song and dance that fucking every company's given us for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
It was flat. The match.
It was kind of flat.
None of the fans were really like, oh my God, this match is going to be great. We saw it 2 weeks ago on fucking Dynamite.
Yeah.
And it was better on Dynamite.
And the Dynamite match was by far better.
It was a lot better.
Leaps and bounds better.
All right. Next match here.
Part of me wonders if that's not why they didn't have the match for the first time on Dynamite a few weeks ago, because they just knew that there was no scenario where it was going to stand up against the matches on this card.
So why put it on this card?
And they shouldn't have. I agree with you on that.
I mean, at that point, let him win the fifth labor. Just let him fucking get the win.
Yeah, just be done with it.
And then you could have put fucking...
Could have done a tag match or something.
This would have been the perfect opportunity to put the pre-show match, the 6-man tag or the 8-man tag, put that on and put fucking something involving the Dark Order or something like that.
You know what would have been fun and could have been the opening match on this show that people could have gone behind. It wouldn't have been anywhere near as flat, and you could have done Jericho and Sammy against MJF and Wardlow or something like that. You could have given us something. Sean Spears instead of Wardlow if you want to have consistency with the story.
Give him FTR.
Yeah, exactly.
FTR versus Sammy and fucking I would have been okay, the fifth labor would have been FTR versus Sammy and fucking Jericho.
Right.
And then it would have been okay, Jericho, MJF, if you're going to do it on the show, he won the right to face MJF. This is when it is done. Yeah. The whole, him losing to him and then still getting a match with him.
This is another one, though, where I feel much like the women's title match, it lost a step because there was no drama there because we all knew how it was going to end.
Well,
nobody ever.
We just saw it 2 weeks ago.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's part of the reason why we all knew it was going to end. Because we saw it 2 weeks ago. We saw MJF win. We now knew that Jericho was putting his career on the line. None of us actually had thought for a second that Jericho was about to have his last match ever here. Like, even if we all thought he was about to go away because Fozzie's on tour, none of us thought that this was actually going to be his last match. So there's no drama there.
Yeah, I agree. All right, he's back. CM Punk, 16 minutes, 40 seconds. CM Punk defeats Darby Allin by pinfall. That was a solid match. Slow, but
It was a wrestling match. Yeah.
7 years. I mean, fucking with people bitching on Twitter about like, oh, what the fuck, he doesn't have it anymore. Like, dude, first time in 7 years. Like, stop.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really good. Like, I would give it at least 4 stars, 4 rainbow flags.
I don't know that high, but it was solid. 3.5. Uh-oh. Mike, what are you doing here?
3.25 at best.
Okay, 3.5, 3.25. Okay.
Slow.
It was slow.
It's not like any other Darby Allin match that he's had so far. He had to slow himself down to let Phil catch up at points. You know, like the coolest part of the whole match was them doing the 1, 2, 3 kid Bret Hart thing. Like the rest of that match, like it never really like you want Darby to be able to be Darby, and I don't feel like he was Darby in this match. But I feel like there were parts of this match that were very resty and very like lethargic, and I think that that's an issue that everyone. Oh, Phil doesn't have a lot of ring rust.
Oh, I thought he showed a lot of ring rust.
Phil should have gotten in a ring with somebody for the weeks leading into
Yeah, I was surprised to see people say that Punk looked like he didn't have ring rust because I actually
lost your mind.
Yeah, my first thought, especially at the beginning of the match, was wow, Punk's looking like he hasn't been in a ring in a while.
He gassed himself out minutes into the match.
But I will say this: I kind of like getting to see a different side of Darby. I like getting to see him wrestle more and kind of slow down and not just. Look, he's someone who I've literally seen almost kill himself at Evolve shows.
I'm still the mindset of he's the one guy. If you're gonna have someone go 100 miles an hour in every match that he's in, it's that guy. Like that guy should not wrestle a slow, wear him down, methodical style because it does not fit who he is as a character. It just it's his.
I mean, that's
Mike said there, but I do think he, considering the match, he did have a spot and he had his highlights and stuff. It stood out.
Highlights, yes, but what I'm saying is you can't have someone who's a certified car crash every time he's in the ring go from being a car crash to a valet driver. It's too left side, right side. Like at this point, like if you're gonna have
left
him
swings, right swings.
Exactly. If you're gonna have him be a car crash, he's got to be a car crash against everybody. And if that means that Phil from Chicago isn't ready to be his opponent because Phil needs to work the ring rust off, then you should have given Phil somebody else. Like
I didn't see that.
Like this is one of those where best in the world. Like I would have rather a MJF versus CM Punk match because they both work that slow, methodical submission, in ring wrestling, stuff like that. MJF I feel is a perfect opponent for Punk for his first match. I'm not saying that Darby isn't a good opponent for Phil. I think that I don't know that I would have went this route first, which is why when we talked last week on the show, it was last week when I did the show, like what I would have done, where I would have had Phil and Darby team up against like your Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky or whoever. Like that would have been great because then you could have gotten the ring rust off of Phil in a match. You could have been working with Darby and stuff. Or even if you fought 2.0, because I know the whole Daniel Garcia 2.0 thing. And that'd been a good way to get 2.0 on the fucking show, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But we'll get there. I liked the match. I'm happy that Phil's back. But I didn't love the match.
Right.
Someone was like, hey, by the way, this guy who had a great match with John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011 just had a banger with some emo skateboard kid in AEW 9 years later. I'm not telling people like, man, you gotta go watch the CM Punk match. First time he's been back in however many years. I hope personally that what happened on Wednesday night leads to the match that I want to see. I want Phil from Chicago versus Absolute Ricky Stark.
Hook.
I want that promo battle. I want Ricky and fucking Punk to go back and forth.
But also Punk versus Hook.
I'd rather him fucking wrestle Taz. 50-year-old broken neck Taz over fucking Hook.
What do you got against Hook?
The guy is walking around in a white beater and fucking gray joggers.
I know. The gray joggers do everything for him.
Trust me, I know you stare at his ass every time he walks through the fucking camera.
He hooks me.
Anyway.
He's worse than Dominic Mysterio, and I never thought I'd fucking say that.
Well, at least he's never been tag champion.
Yet. Next
Anyway.
you know, Powerhouse Hobbs are the FTW World Tag Team Champions.
God.
Just making up titles to give him. Fucking garbage.
Anyway, 3 minutes, 10 seconds.
Welcome to the Sabio Vega portion of our show.
I knew this
was there.
Paul White.
Oh, I forgot this match happened.
Exactly, he was there.
No BS. Paul White defeats QT Marshall by pinfall.
Yo, okay, wait. Real talk. The last time Big Show wrestled in WWE, he looked like almost best shape of his life, really good in the ring, yada yada yada.
That motherfucker looked like he couldn't move his life dependent.
Yeah, like I don't know what happened there. Like Homeboy made a
it was that fucking old yeller fucking chair shot that Billy Gunn hit him with last week that he fucking crumple and fucking like
no for real, like Homeboy made that Netflix sitcom and like I don't know, injured everything in the process because he was moving slow.
Look, as long as he's not in the title picture,
he was the big slow.
No traction.
That was the big slow.
It is what it is. I've never really been a big Paul White fan anyway to begin with, even in his prime.
Him and WCW was epic.
Yeah.
Giant, yes. Score, giant. But Paul, Big Show, 99 on, whatever. I hate him. Just,
when he came over at first and like throwing Austin through the.
I mean, his debut was awesome.
I watched that live.
A couple years like where he was teamed up with like the Undertaker as part of the Ministry of Darkness. Like,
yeah, you're right.
He had good matches. Like it wasn't like he was just a throwaway piece.
True.
He was a big deal. Like yeah, after like 2004, like yeah.
And his feud with like Brock Lesnar was really good in like 2002 and
That's
stuff.
What I'm saying. He had decent stuff. I mean, Undertaker and the shit with Heyman, like he had decent stuff going on. It wasn't that he was just a bum, but it's like after like 0304, like yeah, okay, bud, take a step back.
It was disappointing to see him in the ring, and honestly too, like
it was more of a disappointment that QT Marshall lost.
And I get why they put this match where they put this match and all of that, but honestly, like you follow up the return of CM Punk with
the in-ring debut of No BS Paul White.
It was not cute.
All right, let's get to the main event, of course. Kenny Omega retains. Say again?
QT Marshall should have won that match.
I'm good on Q-Tip.
Q-Tip.
Yeah, but the problem is like at the end of the day, what are we doing with the Big Show?
I don't want to do anything with either one of them. To be perfectly honest.
There. I mean, whatever.
But if QT Marshall beats him, now you have those young guys, Nick Camarado and Aaron Solo, that he can be like, this is how you beat these incoming veterans that are trying to take your spot. Like you could build something with it.
Yeah.
The Gun Club. Like, Billy, you saw how I beat Big Show. You've beaten Big Show. Let's show them how to beat these veterans and move their way up the card.
Right.
Like, you could have done something with it. What's Big Show doing? I choke slammed him. I won. I'm 1-0. The fuck are we doing?
What if Tony Khan is trolling the shit out of us and like at the next pay-per-view in November?
Don't you dare.
You know where I'm going with this?
I will punch you.
No, I'm not. I don't know.
What if we get QT Marshall versus Mark Henry? Like, what if that happens? Like,
we're done.
We just keep getting Q-Tip Marshall versus WWE like retired Hall of Famers.
I will only stand for this if in the final match of the QT Marshall versus the commentary team, he takes on Excalibur.
Tony Schiavone.
No, he'll get Schiavone before that.
Okay.
Excalibur is the final boss.
Oh my god. No, Jim Ross is the final boss, and
he's not. It's a barbecue fucking thing on a pole.
Yes, exactly. It's JR's barbecue sauce on a pole match.
Anyway, main event, of course, the champ retains. Kenny Omega in 21 minutes, 20 seconds. Kenny Omega defeats Christian Cage by pinfall. Solid match. Really good match. You didn't like it? You hate this match?
Didn't love it.
I thought it was good. It only closed the show because of everything that they did after it.
Of course.
That's the only reason.
From a match perspective, that match should not have closed the show.
Oh, no, okay, we can.
From bell to bell, that match should not have closed the show.
We know why it did, though, obviously. Everything afterwards is the reason why it closed the show.
Yeah.
I'm saying if Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole do not show up, that match should not have closed the show.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with you on that one. I agree with you on that one, 100%.
I felt like this match, like, it had its good spots, it had its bad spots. The finish with the middle rope one wing angel.
That was good.
Pretty dope.
It's kicked out of a regular one wing angel. Why is super athlete Christian Cage at 45 years old need to be taken out by a middle fucking rope one?
To have a big spot at the end. I was like, that's the only reason.
Because the fucking needless Impact titles to him the week before.
Outwork everyone. Insane.
Outwork. Yeah, my ass. 45-year-old Christian Cage should not have to fucking take a second rope fucking one wing angel if Adam Hangman Page is taking a regular one and losing.
Yeah.
Obviously, the highlight of this match was the post match after, the reveal of course Adam Cole, Bebe, and
Did either of you catch the giveaway to that before it happened or no?
I did.
With who?
What was the giveaway?
The part about the people being dead and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, I know being the elite enough. He doesn't.
No, he's not fucking with it. I'm glad at least somebody in this room besides me knew what the fuck was going on there.
Yeah. No, I saw that. I love, like I said, I like this role for Adam Cole. I've never personally bought into Adam Cole as a major main eventer. I didn't buy it when he was the ROH World Champion. I didn't buy it when he was the NXT champion.
I bought it when he was the NXT champion.
I didn't. Yeah, and I didn't. I've said that before. Like, I never bought into him. I think that he's always, to me, he's always lacked a little bit of that extra oomph that, ironically, that I think his girlfriend has. Like, I think Britt Baker has it more so than Adam Cole does.
Yes, I want to know. Yeah, I'm curious why. Yeah, I'm really curious why you feel that.
Like, I think he's fantastic in the ring. I think he's a great wrestler. I think he can cut a really good promo. He cut a fantastic promo on Wednesday on Dynamite. He looks happier than he's been in forever on Dynamite, which was really awesome. But I've just never bought him as the main event, as the top guy. He's just never done it for me. And this isn't new. Like, I felt this way about him in NXT, but I also felt about this way about him in Ring of Honor back in like 2015. So, like, and you know this. We've known each other long enough for you to know that I'm not making this up. Like, I've always had this opinion on Adam Cole. No. So it just is what it is. But that's why I think, like, his role now in AEW and his role as part of the Elite, where he's basically not going to be the top guy, but he's going to be like a workhorse for them, and he's going to be like if I'm booking AEW, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm probably having Adam Cole be the only member of the Elite that actually steps into the ring between now and at least October. I'm having him be the guy, since he's new and fresh in AEW and going to have all these matches that he's never had before. I'm having him be the guy that's in the ring doing the work for at least the next month. That's me, though. Because what he can do is deliver in the ring. 100%. He can deliver a great match. I just don't think he's the world champion.
Is he this one? Is it the whole size thing, you think? Part of it? Or no?
I'm 5'4", so no, I can't hold someone's size against them.
Is that tall?
Yes, I am that tall. Or that short, depending on how you look at it.
I'm surprised he's that tall, honestly.
Okay.
Sorry, buddy.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not holding someone's size against them. There's just something about his personality that doesn't scream top guy to me.
I don't know, man. I see that guy. I look at his promos. I'm like, I have a complete opposite reaction. I look, it is what it is. Perception is reality, I guess. I don't know.
He's managing Keith Lee.
Do you believe that rumor, by the way, about Keith being
allegedly? Yes.
Pritchard.
I buy it as a rumor.
He would be a good manager, to be honest with you.
I mean,
just because of him.
He'd be a fine manager, but that would be wasting him.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't buy him as the top guy, but I don't think he needs to be managing Keith Lee either. Like, I think the workhorse of a really big stable that has the world champion in it makes sense.
He would have, in the way you're looking at him, he wouldn't have succeeded at either brand with the exception of NXT.
Yes,
he'd have been lost in the shuffle in Raw. He would have been lost in the shuffle,
which is actually very true.
Which is why he's in AEW.
Yeah. I feel like he could be a top guy here, not on NXT. Is fine, obviously, because he was and he was good at it. But Raw, SmackDown, he would have lost in the shuffle.
Can I just say, I feel like the one thing that all the debuts in AEW and stuff has shown me this past week is that NXT has in fact succeeded at being a developmental brand. They were just developing talents for AEW, and they had no idea the whole time.
Yeah. Bryan Danielson. So, what do you think?
The American Dragon.
Yes, and they posted that also on behind them on Dynamite, which is awesome. What do you think? How should he be booked? Because they're ready to look like Omega and him, or it looks like it.
You're gonna get your fucking head kicked in.
Not you personally. That's the thing that Bryan Danielson says.
Right. What do you think it's too soon for this Omega thing?
I think you go for it. Yeah, if you're gonna do it, just do it.
What happens if Bryan gets hurt?
Yeah.
Right. Don't waste time.
This is the one. If you're gonna pull the trigger on having this match and building it, like, then just fucking.
It's like we said when there were the rumors about Bryan and Punk coming in were happening. It's like these aren't the guys that you're bringing in for the 5-year plan. These are the guys you're bringing in for the right now.
18 to 24 months.
Yeah. You're getting what you can out of them.
Anything
you're
more
getting
than 24
eyes.
months.
Which is why I told you guys I'm a lot more psyched about Adam Cole being here than Bryan Danielson, only because of the fact that I'm going to get probably a lot more.
Yeah, and I think that's valid. The one thing I'll say, my biggest takeaway from this is I want to know how much the band Europe really wanted for the final countdown. Because apparently, Mike, you told me that, apparently, it was too much for Tony Khan willing to do it. And so far, Tony Khan has said no, has never had to say no to anything money related for bringing in anything in AEW. So I'm sort of shocked, and I really want to know what kind of figure these people were asking for.
Well, I think Rancid gifted them Ruby Soho's.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
They didn't have to pay anything for that.
Okay.
And I'm willing to bet you Punk has some kind of
he's really good friends with Color in Living Color.
Yeah, so they're probably giving them.
On Paquette's podcast last week, how he got the right to the song again. In terms of how Tony Khan did get it, also paid something to get it as well.
Yeah, no, obviously. But me or you walking up to fucking buy it, they're going to fucking charge us an arm and a leg. Phil from Chicago, who's had it for the last, he had it in WWE, he had it in UFC, now he's having it here.
ROH. It wasn't official on ROH.
They're probably going to, give him a little bit of a break.
I will say, I do like the Bryan Danielson song with the Fly of the Valkyries, and then it goes into the hip hop thing. That's not bad.
I mean, AEW lucked out with the fact that WWE used a song that's essentially in the public domain for Bryan Danielson for so long, because all they had to do was go get that, which was not paying.
Don't talk though. Adam Cole's new theme, fucking banger. Fucking love that song.
Yeah. I kind of wish they would just buy the rights to the Undisputed Era song, personally.
No, dude! I am a big Undisputed Era. That's probably my favorite song in WWE.
Yeah, I missed that song. I'm not gonna lie.
Eli, okay. Go ahead. What was you gonna say?
My thing coming out of this.
Okay.
That's what she said.
This is leading to Blood and Guts too.
Oh, it definitely is.
We mean the Elite again.
Jurassic Express.
Yep.
Christian.
Yep.
Versus
the Elite.
The Good Brothers.
Yep.
The Young Bucks and Adam Cole.
Is the only thing Kenny's in this?
My question is this: Do you pull the trigger on that at Full Gear, or do you do it on a Dynamite?
I would save it for the end of the year, beginning of the year Dynamite.
Full Gear will be the pay-per-view.
No, literally just said the opposite of what you did.
Oh, Dynamite. On Dynamite.
Bryan at Full Gear.
I would do Blood and Guts on either the last Dynamite of the year or the first Dynamite of 2022.
Well, here's the thing. Let's look at the calendar real quick because I have my phone right here.
I think there's the first one's in Jacksonville.
So.
Or the last one's in Jacksonville.
January 1st is on a Saturday. WWE's pay-per-view that night. So
right.
You can do the 29th or the 5th. So if I'm AEW, I'm doing the 29th of December.
You could also do it on the 31st on Rampage. And just have it be the whole fucking episode.
But that'd be the only match of this episode, right? I totally agree.
Yeah, you film Dark or Elevation or something. Universal. Well, you're filming Dark at Universal. But I'm saying if to give people a full show, or you're filming another week of Rampage or something. But the hour that's live is just match. Blood and Guts. Yeah, I would do that. I would do that on, especially knowing WWE has a pay-per-view the next day. You want to be fuck you, have to top this.
And if I'm them, I don't put Kenny in the match.
Okay.
Totally agree with you on that one. Totally agree with you on that.
I mean, the only way you're putting Kenny in there is if you decide to put somebody else in there, and you're already putting Marco. You're already putting Marco Stunt in there.
Oh, good lord!
Come on now.
Well, I mean, who else would you put in there?
Kazarian, maybe. Kazarian.
You can put Kazarian.
Or okay,
he is the elite hunter.
Okay, so if you do Bryan, Kazarian, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Christian,
5, and then you have
the Good Brothers, the Bucks, and Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Do you go, or do you just say something that's never been done before? Do you do 6-on-6? Do you go like Orange Cassidy and Kenny Omega?
Well, no, then you could just put in Marco's Stunt.
I can honestly do out the Good Brothers personally.
If you were going 6-on-6, then you put in Marco's Stunt and Kenny Omega. That's all.
Adam Cole didn't even mention him in this promo on Wednesday. He said, the Bucks and Omega, and nothing about the.
He really didn't mention the Good Brothers. That's true. He wasn't really with the Good Brothers. True.
Right, but that is there. I mean, they've come matches recently. You know, the Machine Gun. Carl did his solo match a couple weeks ago, but this is there. That's anything there, dude.
I mean, unless you can get another one of the former Elite members into the fold.
Coda.
Coda was never really part of the Elite.
Golden Elite.
Okay. Quickly before next topic, because we have another long one coming up. Takeaways, quickly. Takeaways, Mike.
Trying to cut us off. This is horseshit.
You know who I would get if he's available? Flip Gordon. I don't think he's doing anything in Ring of Honor right now.
Wait, Mike, it's the fact you look at Blood and Glut at some point between now and December. That was your takeaway, right?
Between now and January.
Oh, January. Okay. Joey, your takeaway from this pay-per-view?
I enjoyed it.
I loved it, and in fact, I like the way. In fact, Dynamite too, especially the way they booked Dynamite on Wednesday. Like, I'm glad they didn't load it up again. They guys who weren't on the show got some airtime also too, while still able to put the promos around. With Adam Cole.
So the thing that I said to Mike after the pay-per-view was over that I'm going to stand by. I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
This felt like the first show of like a new company in a lot of ways. Having like all these debuts and the angles that they ran and stuff, it felt like a beginning. And that's not a bad thing, And again, we're in a realm again where it's like, I don't know where they're going to go for the next pay-per-view. I don't know what feuds we're going to get. I don't know what matches we're going to get. And that's not necessarily bad. Now, I would like to see them actually build up to it over the next 2 months as opposed to doing what they did with this one, which is, kind of just throw it all together in the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But
hope that shit sticks to the wall.
Yeah. Like, I will give them this, though. This felt like they were putting all their chess pieces on the board. Because now at this point, I don't think we're getting any more debuts anytime soon. Like, I'm not like the only people who are really out there still floating around are, who officially, because I'm not talking about people who are still in WWE. Well, we'll talk about that in the upcoming my topic.
Yeah.
Like there's potential there, obviously, but like Bray Wyatt's floating around. Do I think Bray Wyatt's going to show up in AEW eventually? Yes. Do I think that he's coming within the next couple of months? Probably not. I think that maybe you save him. I think maybe he's a January debut. Maybe he's if they do Blood and Guts, he's like debuts at the end of Blood and Guts or something like that. Yeah, exactly. I think right now this feels like they have all their chess pieces put on the board. And now it's time to just start making your way towards the queen.
Making my way downtown.
Walking around.
This is I'm home back.
All right, guys, before we get to the next topic, do you guys want to skip the trivia this week or want to still do it?
Did you have a trivia question?
I did.
Yeah, no, let's fucking do trivia.
You guys, we can still do it.
We have a question. Why would we skip it?
No, well, an hour on this topic, and this one's going to be pretty close to the same thing. So, up to you. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
All right, come on. So let's go.
Let's go. Well, it's not me. It's him presenting it.
You gotta play the music. You
do care about the music this week. All right. Give me a second. Yeah.
Try format. Damn.
Love you, Joe.
All right, Ernest sucks at this game. Joe has the same point total for him somehow. All right.
Not good at this either.
No. We're going to go back to the first ever all-in show.
I'm good. I'm goodbye.
Wow. There's a book worse. September 1st, 2018.
Okay.
There was a 4-way women's match on the show.
Oh, Jesus.
That included Chelsea Green, Madison Rayne, Britt Baker, and was won by this female.
Ooh, I think I know the answer to this one.
And good.
Again, there was a fatal 4-way women's match at All In September of 2018.
I'm actually confident in my answer right now.
It included Britt Baker, Chelsea Green, Madison Rayne, and was won by this female. Ernest, what is your wager?
Obviously 100.
You're an idiot. Joseph?
How much do I have?
You have 600.
Can I wager all of it?
Yes.
I'm going to wager 500.
All right,
Wow.
Joseph, 500.
I'm confident.
Ernest, what is your selection?
Is it Nyla Rose?
Joe?
Is it the woman who they were going to originally build the entire women's division around? Smiley Kylie Ray?
You are both incorrect.
God damn it.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
God damn
The
it.
correct answer is the female that nobody wants on their roster, Tessa Blanchard.
Tessa Blanchard was on All In?
Actually, but I didn't pull the trigger. She crossed my mind. It was her.
She crossed a lot of people. It's fine.
Yeah, and then fucking guy.
God damn it. I really thought I knew the answer to that.
I kind of want to go back and watch All In because it had a
Where's
Steve
that? On YouTube now?
Yes, it's Cody.
against fucking Christopher Daniels. Cody beat Nick Aldis for the NWA title on that show.
Yeah, he did. That show isn't even available anywhere, I don't think. Unless it's on the Fight.
YouTube?
No, it's not on
Definitely
YouTube.
not on YouTube.
You might have to pay for it on Fight still. Because it's not on DVD or anything. I've looked.
Wow.
I don't want to own it on DVD.
Alrighty, the next topic. Joe, I think it's yours actually. We'll do yours next.
Okay, sure. Okay, so real quick, and this came up my secondary version of the topic. I almost forgot that I changed it.
Wow.
Mick Foley had some comments. Do you have his comments?
I have the video. I have the audio here. I'll play for you quick.
Play the audio, and then we can just go from there.
Okay.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley. I'd like to
Hi,
turn
Mick.
this video WWE. We've got a problem because I think you do. And that problem is that WWE is no longer the place for talent to aspire to. Part of it is because AEW is doing a great job of attracting great talent, proven talent, building other talent, creating storylines, but part of it is a problem of your own making. I think younger talent sees the way that developmental characters are cut or left by the wayside, or in the case of Karrion Kross, greatly watered down and even made a joke of when they debut on the main roster. If it's not broke, don't fix it. If I was an aspiring talent now, big league talent with a major decision to make, I'm not sure that I would trust WWE Creative to do the right thing with my career. You guys did wonders with me back in the day, but that was a different time, different place. If it was today, I'm not sure I would trust the powers to be with my career in their hands. And until that changes, WWE, you've got a problem.
Okay.
All right, my topic's really simple. Do you guys agree with what Mick Foley had to say? And why?
100% agree with him. 100% agree with him. And the very fact that he used an example of what they're doing currently to further that argument, the Karrion Kross thing, which has been a big topic for the last month and a half now on all wrestling podcasts I listen to, that how he's being used and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the fact he states an example, not just saying because look, it's all cool to make fun of WWE because they're the big dogs, so we poke holes at Vince and all that, and we get it. Meltzer does all the time, we get it. But when a Hall of Famer, a guy who was was one of the near top guys in the company for a good couple of years, is pointing this out and then gives an actual example of what they're doing wrong. For example, that is legitimate. I mean, you're hearing stuff now that the company's mad now at Mick for saying this. Okay, be mad all you want, but sometimes the truth hurts. And again, perception is reality. They do have an issue here. And I say as a fan of the company, I love WWE. I don't hate on Raw the same way everyone else does. Like, Raw has issues, but there's some bright spots on Raw. SmackDown's obviously a better show, leaps and bounds. But I'm not one of those guys that hates on WWE. I love WWE. I watch Raw every week for the most part. I watch SmackDown every week. But there is a disconnect. And the Karrion Kross thing's a perfect example, because that was, for the last month and a half, has been one of the biggest topics around the wrestling communities about how it's being used. The gimmick, it's stupid. What they're doing is dumb.
Yeah. No, I definitely see what you're saying, Mike.
I don't know that we're in that big of an issue that everybody thinks we are.
Explain.
There are people that don't want to be there because they want to go be with their friends. Then let them. Build with what you have. Build with what you want to be there. If people do not want to be there, then don't make them be there. Karrion Kross' situation, I don't like what they're doing with him. What are they really doing wrong with him? They put on the fucking demolition helmet? He's beating the people that he should. He's running through the lower mid-card of the fucking of Raw to eventually get to the point where he's probably going to face Damian Priest for the United States title, which is how they normally used to build guys in the mid-90s to the late 2000s. You'd go in, you'd squash all those mid-card guys, you'd feud with whoever the face or the heel champion was for the mid-card title. If you beat them, you hold it for a little while, you lose it, then you move to the main event picture. Like if you look at it, they're not building stars. I mean, okay, like at the end of the day, like, do they really need a bunch of stars? Are they in a spot where it's like, oh my God, they don't have enough people to fill a roster? Or are people just not liking what they're doing because it's not what they want?
See,
it's probably all the.
You done? I don't want to cut you off.
All I'm saying is Karrion Kross isn't a problem. Karrion Kross is something that they're doing what they used to do. The whole shit with Keith Lee and bringing him back up and he loses right away, and I can't believe they're doing this to him. Can't believe they're doing what to him? Because you're not happy that someone that you like in ring isn't being used the way you want them to. They're doing something wrong.
So, although I will say the Keith thing though also didn't bother me because he lost to the champion. I mean, he lost to Bobby Lashley.
So here's my thing. I think Mick Foley's point isn't so much about what WWE is doing wrong in terms of like actual opinion on whether or not like these guys are being handled right or not, right? I think Foley's point is more the last like 5-6 years, if not longer, if not maybe as much as like a decade. Most of the talent that WWE has had come in, most of the talent that they've built up to be their main eventers and their top stars were guys from the indie scene who came in, your Kevin Owens, your Sami Zayns, your Damian Priest, your all these guys, right? Karrion Kross, like almost everybody pretty much. This was their destination where they wanted to end up. If you were wrestling in Ring of Honor, you wanted to end up in WWE. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong. Pretty much the entire NXT roster at some point was basically Ring of Honor. You wanted to end up in WWE because there was nowhere else to go. There really wasn't. Like either you were gonna be Jay and Mark Briscoe and you were gonna be content with basically making a living as the Ring of Honor guys, who maybe got to go to Japan once or twice, but that was about it. You weren't becoming a huge star in Japan, but you weren't becoming, a WWE guy or whatever. You were staying like kind of in your place. Your Jay Lethals, like those guys. Or you were aspiring to get into WWE because you wanted to go to the next level, and that's the only version of the next level that existed, at least here in North America, if nothing else. I think that what Mick Foley's saying is basically a lot of the wrestlers on the indie scene now are looking at what's happening where these guys are going to WWE and either they're feeling like they're not living up to their potential, or they're not being used, or they're being released after being stuck in WWE for however long and having what they feel like are bad ideas thrown at them and stuff like that. We're sitting in the back and catering for months, like that happened to Aleister Black and stuff like that. And then what are they doing? They're ending up in AEW anyway. So now your guys on the indie scene who are becoming your hot commodities, and you know the indie scene better than I do. Name someone on the indie scene right now who 5 years ago would have been the next thing to end up in WWE.
There isn't anyone.
Okay. And I believe you on that because the indie scene has kind of sucked, like in terms of big names for a while.
Which is why I'm going to dispute everything you just said.
Okay. But my thing is, like, I feel like the idea is basically if WWE right now was trying to sign people off of the indie scene, that those guys off of the indie scene would be more likely to be like, fuck that, I'm not going there just to end up being like what's happened to all these other guys. I'm going to just wait for the call from AEW. Because when AEW calls me, at least I know that I'm going to be okay.
That you hope comes.
That you hope comes, of course.
So that's my point. If you're an indie wrestler and you're getting a guaranteed payday, you're getting an opportunity to expand your horizons, you're getting an opportunity to be around the fucking most creative mind in wrestling history, you're saying no because you're hoping for a phone call from Tony Khan and his oversaturated roster that's filled with ex-WWE guys that are his main eventers. Tony Khan hasn't built a single one. He's built one main event wrestler for his company in Adam Hangman Page. There's not another soul that Tony Khan has built. He is using ex-WWE wrestlers that have been in the WWE system to build a company. He basically took the NWO from WCW and built an entire fucking company with them. At the end of the day, Cody Rhodes, ex-WWE. Aleister Black, ex-WWE. Dustin, ex-WWE. Jericho. Miro, Lance Archer was there at some point. So like when you look at it, looking at their roster, main eventers, you're building an AEW show right now. Your main event, Daniel Bryan versus Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega was part of the WWE for a little while. Daniel Bryan was a star in the WWE.
Yeah, he wrestled at WrestleMania this year, yeah.
Your co-main event, Adam Cole versus maybe Darby Allin. Okay, Darby. Fine, one. The fact of the matter is, people are going places to be with their friends and their significant others, and less tour dates, and less traveling, and less wear and tear, and things like that. But just because you think that phone call's coming because you're the next big indie thing, guess what, guys? Jay Lethal was on All In. He defended the Ring of Honor world title on that show. And he's still in Ring of Honor because he hasn't gotten a call from Tony Khan.
Yeah. I don't think he's ever getting a call from Vince McMahon either, to be fair.
But my point is, if he calls tomorrow, is Jay Lethal stupid for saying, no, I'm waiting for that call from Tony Khan that never comes?
Yeah, there's an argument there. I see it, yeah.
So what I'm saying here is Mick's standpoint of, oh, bad gimmicks, bad ideas. Guess what, guys? You didn't give back those paychecks because they were bad ideas, did you? You still wrestled house shows whenever they were before COVID. You still got paid. They never missed a paycheck.
True.
You can bitch all you want that, oh, I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. That's the thing about owning a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Sometimes you're going to piss people off by not letting them do what you want, what they want.
True.
And there are going to be people that are going to deal with it and stay there and see the bigger picture and say, hey, I can be a part of this thing that's been running for fucking 40 years and be a piece of history, or I can go take a chance over here, knowing that if I leave the right way, that if this happens to fucking fall apart, I still have this bridge over here, which is why Adam Cole has done the smartest thing out of anybody that's been let go. He hasn't said a negative fucking word about WWE because at the end of the day, he knows that that bridge is still there if something ever happens to AEW.
Yeah.
Or his spot in AEW. At the end of the day, when I look at it from the standpoint, Mick Foley's comment, oh, they're not doing this right. They're not doing that right. Relax. Just because they're not giving you what you want as a fan, Mick, doesn't mean that they're not doing the things that they need to as a company to keep moving forward. NXT was a third brand. NXT was a developmental brand until AEW started, and the fans pushed it to be a third brand. The fans pushed for a Wednesday Night War.
Mm-hmm.
WWE and NXT never wanted a Wednesday Night War. They wanted to keep using those guys to build up to get to the next stage, so they could let guys like The Big Show and Mark Henry and other aging veterans, Dustin Rhodes, even Cody to an extent. Let them go explore the indies. Because I got Kyle O'Reilly, I have Adam Cole, I have Johnny Gargano. I have guys that I can go up there and put on 4-star matches while I have Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre in a 2.5-star match with a great storyline.
Right.
We're pressing the panic button way too quickly as wrestling fans because we're not happy with what they're doing. Well, guess what, guys? We're not on the payroll. We don't get to have a say in this situation. I've said it from the beginning. I like AEW. I also like WWE. People that want to give me shit because I'm a WWE fan, why? Why can't I enjoy every flavor of ice cream?
Amen to that one. I agree with you on that one.
So at the end of the day, like, oh, I don't like what they're doing with Karrion Kross. What are they doing wrong with Karrion Kross? He's wearing fucking demolition mask.
I don't like Karrion Kross, period. I'm not bothered.
Okay, but my point is, if he was in AEW doing the exact same thing,
I still wouldn't like him.
You wouldn't, but people would be like, oh man, this guy, he looks like Max the Destroyer.
Right.
It's literally shitting on Vince to shit on Vince.
I agree with you on that.
And
I agree with you on that. The internet does that.
And it's getting to the point, though, it's not just the internet, though. You have fucking Mick Foley putting something on Twitter. You have Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer and Dave LaGreca on Busted Open Radio every day sitting there, oh man, AEW's blowing him out of the water.
He's at this point now turned to like fucking what's his face?
Radio Dave
Russo.
He's the radio Dave Meltzer.
He's a radio fucking Chris. He's a fucking Mad Dog Chris Russo fucking wrestling commentary.
So my point of the matter is I'm of the mindset of unless you're sitting in that building, sitting through production meetings, the Adam Cole conversation. We'll get the whole managerial thing. I'm going to say allegedly until the cows come home. Because at the end of the day, do you really think that Triple H, the head of fucking NXT for the last 5 years, is really going to let Vince take a guy who he put the fucking company on his back and ran it through the fucking ground with him as the world champion and in the best fucking group they ever had and part of every main fucking storyline? He's like, you know what, Vince, you're right. He'd be a great fucking manager. You know what, Bruce, you're right. The guy can't wrestle a fucking lick. He's only been the NXT champion for like 200 days.
Yeah.
Wrestled in 5 fucking war games. You know, he'd be a great manager.
It is a legend. So, I mean, we can sit in back and forth whether we believe it or not.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just, if I don't hear it come from, like I said, if I don't hear it coming from Hunter, who obviously speedy recovery to him with his cardiac.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Get that out the way. If it's not coming from him or Vince or Pritchard or Adam himself, like, I feel like it's all just like, what's the most outlandish thing that we can come up with?
Although they're not going to tell you, but Mike, to be fair, they're not going to tell you that either. They're not going to, I mean.
Yes, because they fucking shouldn't, because we don't need to know everything. Sometimes being left in the dark about things is better than fucking having to know everything, because that's the problem with the 2010 to 2020 to 2030 wrestling fans.
But in the case, we would have to show them. I mean, we are here to speculate too. The part of our thing, what we do as fans, also we do speculate.
I'll say one thing. I think 2 things actually. I'm going to say. One, I think we're going to see a lot more of the guys from the indie scene circa like 2015 to like early 2000s, like early 2010s and stuff, who are in WWE right now end up in AEW. Like we all know about the current rumors about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, where like their contracts are coming up pretty soon, and like you've got Owens out there tweeting things about Mount Rushmore and stuff like that. Like I think like he's AEW bound.
He did the Cornets also He tweeted.
Coordinate. Yeah. He's AEW bound, I'm sure. Sami Zayn probably too. I wouldn't be surprised if Ricochet went there, which I'm sure you don't mind whatsoever.
Wait, he just signed a contract though recently though.
Ricochet?
Like within the last couple months, I thought he signed an extension.
Maybe. I honestly don't know. I don't remember. But I mean, who knows these things, right? Like again, this is that stuff where like we know what we're told, but who knows if we're even being told the truth. So yeah, who knows? I will say this though, and this is not to talk about right now because other than Mike, neither one of us are prepared to talk about this right now.
Okay.
I'm interested to see the indie scene today because it is interesting to me that like the indie scene of 10 years ago or 12 years ago or even maybe 5 or 6 years ago, you had a reliable amount of guys who was like, okay, these are going to be the next guys to go into WWE. Or now, these are going to be the next guys to go into AEW and stuff. And you're saying right now that those guys don't exist that much on the indie scene right now.
I mean, I don't think that there's many guys that I'd be like, yeah, that's the guy that I'm going to go sign.
If you had to name one.
Besides Danhausen?
Really? You think him?
I said name one.
But you think it actually... I can see him in AEW. Exactly. I can fucking see him in AEW. Good Lord.
Very evil. Very nice.
Oh, God. No, but like a legitimate like Adam Cole level talent. That is in either right now... We can even count Ring of Honor as the indie scene, even though they're not really an independent company.
I'm not going to count that.
Okay, so don't count Ring of Honor. So you're looking at like your Beyonds and your PWGs and your GCWs, where fucking Matt Cardona was the champion, and now Jon Moxley is. So but those companies, that level of wrestling, because like with Chikara being out of the world, not that they were really anything that mattered that much for the last like the 2 or 3 years of their existence, but with them being gone and Ring of Honor not being like a real indie company anymore, like you said. Like you're looking at like your Beyond Wrestlings and stuff like that. Who do you got on that roster that arguably is like even like your next like Johnny Gargano or something like that? Like those guys who had their beginnings in those places.
I don't think either company would be ready for this person, but I think it's the person that I keep coming back to the most.
Who?
Effie.
I thought you were gonna say. And as soon as you said that like intro, I've never seen him wrestle. I think
he was on Sam Roberts' podcast this week. Actually, I learned about him this week.
He's pretty good in ring, and I think like the thing is I think he's a guy that not from that perspective. I just think he's a guy who has a very interesting act and a gimmick, and I think he lives his gimmick. Mm-hmm. And I think he's someone that I think would be good for either company, but I don't know that either company would know what to do with him.
Yeah, so I mean, AEW doesn't know what the fuck to do with Sonny Kiss.
That's what I'm saying. So him being himself in wherever he's at, like AEW, AIW, GCW, all that. I mean, if you're gonna sign someone like AEW, you should really sign Nick Gage. Just fucking let it be.
I feel like they're going to sooner than later, unless he's not allowed to because of like parole.
Oof. I don't know.
I'm being honest. Like this kind of conversation makes me want to watch like Beyond Wrestling.
So if you go. I'm going to look it up real quick. I'm going to go on Cage Match. I'm just going to look up the show from this weekend, the Game Changer, and I'm going to just pick someone besides Effie that I think could be...
We need to watch the next Beyond Wrestling show.
Well, they were supposed to have that fucking American...
Yeah, that didn't end up happening because of the hurricane. Well, we need to watch it, not Shane Helms. It was not his fault that show got canceled.
What's up with that?
But we need to watch some like indie wrestling, current indie wrestling.
GCW had Effie's Big Gay Bash on Saturday.
Okay.
Effie's the only one that I would sign after that. Personally, I think that someone should sign Mance Warner, but
I've heard that name.
He was the champion in AAW for a while. He was a hardcore guy.
Real question: does CZW still exist? Because I never hear anyone talk about them anymore.
They exist, but I don't
Adam Cole started in CZW.
I just don't know that they've actually...
CZW or CCW?
CZW, Combat Zone Wrestling.
Okay.
That's been around for like...
I heard it from myself.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so they had Bash at the Brew 8, which had No, it was CCW. Never mind.
I don't know
That
what
was
the
the
fuck
Coastal.
CCW
That was that
is.
Coastal Championship that I tried to get us to go to.
Oh, right.
Hey Joe, do you love anything this week?
The Art of War was their show. Looking at their roster, Tony Deppen, I'd consider him.
Isn't he in Ring of Honor?
I know that name.
He's not under an exclusive contract.
Okay.
That's why I would give him that. It's him.
And AEW just signed that Lee Moriarty guy. Am I pronouncing his name right?
Yeah.
I've heard him before, like, get some talk.
Yeah, yesterday he signed him.
Like, really, it's Tony Deppen, it's Effie, maybe AJ Gray.
So there's just really a lack of talent on the indie scene right now, is what it sounds like. And that's crazy when you think about it. When you think about the plentiful amount of talent that used to be on the indie scene and how much it just lacks now, like in newer upcoming stars, that's an interesting topic that I think we need to save for another day.
Okay, so if you count MLW, Alexander Hammerstone,
I've heard of
Jacob
him.
Fatu, and the Von Erichs are probably like the four that I would be like, go out of your way to go get.
Yeah.
That makes me want to watch some MLW.
I'm saying if you give me MLW in it, I would say the two Von Erich brothers, I'd go Hammerstone and I'd go Fatu. Other than that, like Tom Lawler, older guy, used to be an MMA fighter. I don't know that I'm necessarily dying to sign a guy who's in his mid-30s.
We've already got Matt Riddle.
All right. Joe, what do you love this week? Anything?
I'll make it super fast, super easy, so we can get to the final topic because I know Ernest is falling asleep.
I'm awake actually, but you know.
So this one's really easy, right? Adam Cole, you're there with your friends, you're there with your boo thing, you're looking all happy, you're looking much younger, you just seem rejuvenated to be in AEW, and I love that for you. So there you go.
Yeah, he's happy.
He looks genuinely happy.
I love that his shtick still works too. Down on baby.
Yeah, but like you asked, like if he's been doing that since Ring of Honor.
I asked you, I was like, there's got to be something he's been doing even before that.
Yeah, he's been doing that for the longest time.
I love it. I think it's great. I don't know. Maybe you've been a fan. You've been watching him for longer than I have. It's still fresh to me because
it never gets old.
Right. All right, Mike, bring it home.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I was looking up MLW stuff.
We got to start watching some indie shows.
All right, so my topic for this week is fixing WWE. I don't know that it's broken. A lot of people that think it's broken. I've now decided that I'm going to take this. And my topic for this week is to turn it into baseball rosters. Take all the people that are in the WWE balloon, male and female, and make a roster for SmackDown, Raw, NXT, and then I have a developmental to NXT. Almost like your AEW Darks of the world. So most of the the three main rosters each have 28 male athletes and 13 female athletes on them. Obviously, Lacey Evans and Candice LeRae were not put on rosters due to both being pregnant. Bayley because of her torn ACL. Asuka because she's hurt, and The Miz because he is doing Dancing with the Stars.
I love that for him.
Yeah, he'll be awesome at that, by the way.
So I decided that if we're gonna try to hit home runs with these rosters, I've decided to make SmackDown like the creme de la creme. Raw is like that second tier. NXT's like the double A, like where you have like the young guys still getting their feet underneath them in the WWE style so they could move up to Raw. So I'm kind of taking like the baseball approach to it. So it's like you got guys that are like the 26, 27, 28 guys on mine that are comparable with like the 1, 2, 3 guys on Raw. So I'm going to read off my SmackDown roster, then I'm going to let you guys talk about it. Okay?
Sure. Okay.
Obviously, Roman Reigns stays on SmackDown.
Yeah, well.
If I'm building a Major League Baseball level roster, it starts with him. I also have Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, Edge, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Riddle, Jimmy and Jey Uso, The New Day, all 3 members, Finn Balor, Baron Corbin, Kevin Owens until he leaves, Cesaro, King Nakamura and Rick Boogs, Damian Priest, MVP, Sheamus, Omos, Johnny Drip Drip, Karrion Kross, Elias, Jinder Mahal. The women on that roster, Charlotte, Alexa, Becky, Bianca, Carmella, Rhea, Nikki, Shayna, Nia Jax, Sasha Banks, Tamina, Natty, and Ember Moon.
I feel like you just loaded Raw's SmackDown.
That's all SmackDown, right?
Yes, that's my point, guys. That's what I'm telling you. I'm fixing this.
That's literally
I'm taking this and I'm making SmackDown the AEW Dynamite.
Okay.
I'm gonna make Raw versus Rampage. I'm gonna make NXT a developmental brand. That's why I went MLB, AA, AAA, stuff like that.
Do Nitro Thunder.
Sure.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I feel like now my idea is not as dissimilar to your idea as I thought it was going to be. I really do. Like, now the way you're explaining it, like, I think we're actually more on the same page than I thought we were.
So my Raw roster, Samoa Joe, Keith Lee, Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders, the Street Profits, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Kyle O'Reilly, Rey Mysterio, Pete Dunne, LA Knight, Chad Gable, Otis, Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz, Sami Zayn, the Dirty Dogs, Jeff Hardy, that goddamn motherfucker Ricochet, R-Truth, Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, come on, you didn't fire him?
No, I want the Mysterio feud.
You're fired.
Mansoor, Mustafa Ali, Jackson Riker, Shelton Benjamin. The women for this roster is where I think I may have fucked this one up.
Where's Shanky?
We'll get there.
Okay. Just making sure you don't think I'm a Shanky boy.
Toni Storm, Tegan Knox, Shotzi Blackheart, Zelina Vega, Io Shirai, Frankie Monet, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, Mia Yim, Naomi, Liv Morgan, Doudrop, and Mandy Rose.
This is like a bloated fucking top level NXT roster, actually. If you think about it. I like it though.
It sounds like a really good version of an Impact, like current Impact roster.
Right.
And then for my NXT, my double A level, Cameron Grimes, Tim Thatcher, Swerve, Santos Escobar, MSK, Kushida, Roderick Strong, Dexter Lumis, the Grizzled Young Vets, Imperium, Drew Gulak, Ridge Holland, Mason T-Bar, Oni and Danny Burke, Austin Theory, your boy.
Ooh.
Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza, Grand Metalik, Humberto Carrillo, current 7 champion Reggie, Angel Garza, Akira Tozawa, Drake Maverick. The women on this one is more, I want the women on this to get better to then take spots on Raw and SmackDown when people start. So this is the Dana Brooke, Eva Marie. I put them in there because they're 2 veterans that you could have lose to up-and-comers. Your Gigi Dolans of the world, your Indy Hartwells, Casey Catanzaro, Caden Carter, Kaylee Ray, Zoe Stark, Saray, Xia Li, Aaliyah, Jessica Maya, and Cora Jade. And then I have like the Evolve roster that Joe was mentioning. That's Shanky, Veer, Lindsay Dorado, Riddick Moss, Shane Thorne, Andre Chase, Ashante Adonis, Boa, Brutus Creed, Carmelo Hayes, Duke Hudson, Heicheman, Joe Gacy, Josh Briggs, Julius Creed, Odyssey Jones. Basically everybody that was in that breakout tournament that they did. Get them some more work. But when you look at, like, if you want to, like, go for a home run, like, and do it, like, that SmackDown roster, I think could compete with an AEW roster.
Oh, compete, but that's probably
yeah, for sure.
This roster, honestly.
That's kind of what I'm like. It's like everyone bitches that the WWE roster is too thin. My point to prove is that
brands are thin.
What I'm saying is the WWE roster, because it's split into 2 brands, is thin.
Yes, the brands are thin.
Yes.
Right.
Roster itself is very strong.
Yes, but that's the point. People are sitting here saying WWE is losing all this talent. How are they going to survive? they're deeper than you think.
Yes.
The Raw, not for nothing, the Raw roster is actually really good. It's just the show's too damn long, and it's booking the way they book it.
I don't know that it's the show's too damn long. I think it's the booking and
yeah, and the splitting of the roster.
Guys, let me this real quick. No pun intended, of course. How is it that the booking is so bad on Raw, but SmackDown is fucking, I would say at least A-.
Different writing teams.
So they are different. Well,
I'm gonna say it's multiple reasons. Number one, 2 different fucking writing teams. Number 2, I believe that the other issue that they have is that you have the Fox. We want top flight storylines.
Right.
I think the Raw storylines get pushed to the back burner because Vince has to okay all the SmackDown ones.
So, and that's the thing. SmackDown, they're telling stories. Raw, they're telling maybe 1 or 2 stories. Like you have the RK Bro story, which I love.
So Raw is basically AEW.
In a sense.
They're only telling 1 or 2 stories.
But right.
I mean,
no.
When you look at it from the perspective of storytelling, it's the exact same thing.
Well, the problem with AEW is that they tell stories and they stop it and stop and go. It's a stop and go thing. Like, for example, Raw had a built-in story right now with Nia and Charlotte. They had the internet buzzing last week. And what do? They don't even capitalize on it this week. They go back to fucking Alexa and Charlotte now. Like, that's what I don't get. It's
because that match was god-awful and they knew not to fucking do it again. So, just because the internet is buzzing about it doesn't mean that you want to keep doing it.
Yeah, true.
Just because the internet is shitting all over your product doesn't mean you keep going to it to let them shit.
Was it a shoot? Was that whole shit a shoot? You think, or was that? You think was? I mean, I don't know.
Nia doesn't know which way is left or right. You really think she's doing a wrestling shoot? What are we doing here, guys?
I'll say this: when you brought up this topic, and I know we were each supposed to prepare kind of.
I knew neither one of you were.
I knew I wasn't going to because I didn't.
I have an idea of what I guess I have an idea who I want where, but
wait. Here's what I'm going to say, and here's what's ironic to me, where I wasn't expecting us to be as close to the same page as we are. My answer to this was going to be, I frankly would just stop splitting up the rosters and just have them all together as one roster. And granted, I would then do the thing that I'm begging AEW to do, which is don't have guys on the same shows each week. So, i.e., if Christian Cage is going to wrestle on Dynamite, don't have him wrestle on Rampage. Correct. So if you have the WWE as one roster, if Roman Reigns is on SmackDown that week, don't have him wrestle on Raw. Or if he's wrestling on Raw that week, don't have him show up on SmackDown. I would do the exact same thing because you're right. At the end of the day, they have a deep roster. Their problem is they thin it out by splitting it up so much. If you just don't split it up, then you've got a strong ass roster, especially, and the women's division more than anything else. Like we've said earlier, like WWE has the best women's division in pro wrestling, but it's split into 3, so it ends up looking like not that impressive. You put it all together into one, it's fucking awesome.
Even if you just put Raw and SmackDown together and left NXT
yes,
its own thing.
Yes.
I think you would make everything immensely deeper.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's the other thing that you could think about is if you put the 2 of them together, you have 5 hours of TV time for those 2 rosters.
Yeah.
You then can also dwindle down your champions. You can have unification matches. You can go back to having 1 world champion. You could keep the 2 mid-card titles. You could keep the US and the Intercontinental.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you could go down to 1 women's title. You could keep the women's tag title because that means that the tag team division would then be immensely deeper.
Yes.
I mean, if I'm Vince at this point, I'm done with the brands.
They've been doing brands for 17, 18 years now, ever since 2002?
No, there was a time frame where in the middle where they didn't, and they brought it back.
Yeah, 2016 is when they brought it back. So they've really only been doing it steadily for like about 5 years.
Maybe it's time to stop it again. Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, because I think at that point, if you look at it and it's like, oh man, we're not happy that SmackDown's getting all these matches. Okay, fine. We'll put all the rosters fucking together. We'll bring Brock Lesnar over to fucking Raw a couple times. Oh, cool. We'll get Brock. USA's happy.
Right.
They get 5 hours of fucking mainstream television time.
Exactly.
And then they get an extra, 2 hours for NXT?
Exactly.
Well, clearly for another year, we're going to have brand for another year, brand split for another year because they're doing the brand, the draft on October again. So.
Just because they're doing a draft doesn't mean they can't pull the plug first.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but the rumors the draft in October.
Only scenario.
Yeah, there's also rumors that they're going to do 2 nights WrestleMania, but nowhere else are they saying that they're doing it.
Where I could see them. Stop. I have a point. The only scenario where I could see them needing to keep separate rosters is if it's like in the contracts on Fox and USA that they have to have separate rosters.
Right.
If they don't have to do it for contractual reasons, they should stop.
I agree.
I think it would just, at this point, especially now that you are thinning out the rosters, now that you're getting rid of some excess weight that, frankly, WWE signed a whole bunch of guys circa 2018 because they didn't want AEW signing some of these people. I believe that to be factual.
Oh, yeah.
And now that they're at a point where AEW is what it is, I think that they don't care anymore. I think that and I don't think that necessarily means that they're like, it's not about a feared thing or a non-fear thing. I think it's literally just, oh, we know what this company is now. We know what they're doing. Okay, let them exist. Let them do their thing. Let them rock, whatever. So now they don't need to worry about scooping up all these people so that the competition doesn't scoop it up or whatever. Like they just don't, they're not in that place anymore. They're more interested in signing Olympians than they are in potential guys that AEW could sign or whatever.
At least they have a focus now. At least they know who they are. They know who they want to be.
Right.
To their credit. That's okay. And that's okay.
Yeah, I agree.
MLW has announced that the first 5 members of their Opera Cup, which is a #1 contender tournament, that includes Davey Richards, Matt Cross, TJP, Tom Lawler, and Calvin Tankman.
That's awesome. Who are they? Sorry. What do I do? You know.
Half of them.
Joe, do you have a roster list?
No, I just said my.
Well, okay.
Combine all the rosters together.
I had an idea, though, like certain guys going to this brand. You know, like I think Drew should go to SmackDown at this point now. You know, things of that nature. I think what Mike did is perfect though, because I think that if you're gonna do it that way, that's the way you should do it. Like kind of like a sliding thing. Raw, SmackDown means A show, B show, then AAA, be NXT. So. All right, let's get to I guess rest of the week, right? All right, Michael.
Oh, I got it up.
You got it ready?
He said.
Oh. Okay. You hear the music?
Yeah. Which one are you guys going first?
Beautiful. I think that
Michael
should go first.
All right. First up, I have Jon Moxley as my #1 wrestler of the week. He went 3-0, won the Game Changer Wrestling title, defeated Minoru Suzuki, and beat Kojima. So #1 for John. At #2, I have the new tag team champions, Phoenix and Pentagon L000101 Matrix.
Make up your fucking mind. What number do you want? Okay. Next one.
And last but certainly not least, the winner of the Casino Battle Royale, and then beat Jamie Hayter on last night's episode of Dynamite. That is the one, the only Ruby Soho.
Ruby Soho. Joe?
Okay. I'll go reverse order. Thank you, sir. My #3 is the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling. That is Hiroshi Tanahashi, who, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, is why he made my list. First man to ever successfully defend the United States Championship. The New Japan United States Championship. I'm pretty sure every single person who's ever won it before him.
No, Jon Moxley fucking had a couple of defenses.
I don't think he did.
I will put money on it.
I'm with Mike on this one. I don't even know the answer. I'm with Mike on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
My #2 is the Lucha Brothers, because obviously that was impressive. And my #1 is also Jon Moxley, both for beating Kojima at the pay-per-view and for winning the GHC Heavyweight Championship from Matt Cardona. That was a big deal. He had a really good week. Jon Moxley, baby.
That shit was fucking awesome. The way the GCW thing was fucking awesome.
Yes, yeah, it was really cool.
But there's so much going on, I forgot about it, honestly. I'm going to start in the middle. Number
Was that right?
I'm gonna let him go, and then I'll comment.
I really honestly for fucking putting my
I
time.
was right, wasn't I?
I'm gonna let him go, and then I'm gonna
Okay.
comment on it.
Okay.
No, I'm almost on the middle this time. You went from the top, you went from the bottom, I'm over the middle. Number 2, Ruby Soho. Okay, you know she won the Battle Royale, and she also won her first Dynamite debut against Jamie Hayter. Number 3, Adam Cole. Yeah, I know he didn't wrestle. I know. Why is Joe's music playing here? I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
I love that.
So it wasn't. It went to your song. Sorry, Joe. I want to get you excited, and I apologize. You know. Yeah, Adam Cole, the debut. I was surprised personally on Sunday when he came out. Surprised. I didn't think. I still thought he'd wait another week or two before he make a decision. Number 1, of course, Lucha Bros, because this is all AEW. I mean, but honestly, I probably should put boxing with number 1 because I forgot about GCW. I totally forgot about the fucking match.
All right, so through the 8th of September, Nikki Superheroes is still in first with 15 points.
How is that fucking possible? She's still in first place, man. God.
Randy Orton's in second. Roman Reigns is in third. We have the tie between Cardona, Black, Jericho, Christian, Dragunov, Murdoch, and Priest with 10 points. Gallows and Anderson with 8.5. The Lucha Bros are tied for 13th with 7.5.
Where's that, my boy?
Mommy!
He's in an 8-way tie for 20th with 5 points.
Good job.
Mommy!
All right. Anyway, final thoughts we go.
Jon Moxley had 5 successful IWGP United States title matches, including beating Carl Anderson at Fyter Fest in AEW like 3 months ago.
Oh,
Or a month and a half.
I love that
2
for
months ago.
him. I still keep Tanahashi.
Any final thoughts? Because the wife is calling me and she's leaving work now. And
My final thoughts are
I want to watch more indie wrestling.
I had a final thought before earlier tonight, and I fucking just completely forgot what it was. So, yeah, I guess my final thought is
We should all watch more indie wrestling together.
I agree with you 100% on that one for the record.
hold on. Lance Archer had a successful fucking
All right, we get it. I was way wrong.
on like July 28th.
I said I was way wrong. It's fine. Tanahashi still makes my list. I like him. He's hot.
I would
So,
have been better.
the guy on the left here, you can find him on They Call Me Burnham on Twitter. That guy on the right, you can find Sugar J-Lo on Twitter. Richardson 7. Orange Theory guy.
The show's at Take the Number 3 Wrestling.
Correct. Do you want to also, if you want an Orange Theory membership, the guy on the right will help you out as well too. The guy who had Disney hat on an hour ago.
Or an OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, of course.
Just for fans.
Yeah, all that stuff. He's doing porn, all that. He's such a active guy in Florida. He's back. He's back to fucking wearing shirtless selfies again after like a 2-week hiatus.
I mean, I gotta keep people happy.
You didn't want to put Toru Yano in there? He won the KOPW in a no DQ I quit match
Toru Yano.
against Chase Owens.
My final thoughts tonight, as we go.
Match we'll ever watch in our lives.
Fuck Chase Owens and
My
Toru.
final thoughts before we go. How the fuck is Joe 5'4"?
Final thought before I go. My IQ feels like it drops 35 points from the time the show starts till it ends every week.
On that,
on wrestling.
fellas.
And on that note, I bid you.
Also, we'll do some more dailies in the next week or so.
Yeah, whenever you guys are ready, because I'm not going to record them by myself. That's why I
No,
haven't.
I'll do it by myself. I'll do record solos if I have to. I mean, no big deal.
No, solo ones are boring.
Well, I mean, it depends. If it's a story, don't get to it. Somebody get to it. I don't give a fuck. Joey, want to do solo? Want to do solo? I don't give a shit.
And on that note,
I only do solos on Just for Fans.
exactly. And on that note, we bid you adieu.